Namaskar. When we review aligning and assisting as teachers, one of the first things we want to do is think about how it relates to our students. The first thing we're doing as students come to our class is adjusting the perception so that it's not our practice at all, it's their practice, and we're trying to make it the best possible practice for them while they're in our classes. In order to do that, there are a number of things about alignment and assisting that they should know. Some things that will help is after you review this video, what you want to do is develop some kind of a basic handout which explains the advantages of proper alignment and also of your role in assisting your students. Some students are not going to want to be assisted. We're going to address that later on. But my main point is, at least what you do is you take some of the mystery out of it for your students so that they understand that they're not going to get hurt. That's the big thing. Are they going to get hurt by when we do an alignment, realignment, or when we do some kind of a physical assist? And assisting can be many things. So we're going to discuss what aligning really is and what alignment is. And it's really basically, when we think about the body and the skeleton, how does the skeleton align? So we're talking about skeletal alignment. One of the biggest guidelines on skeletal alignment is the spine. This is your main guideline. Beyond that, there are a number of other things. We're looking at joints, major joints. We're looking at shoulder joints. We're looking at the hips themselves. We're looking at the knees, the ankles. All of these things are important. The elbows are important because we're trying not to hyperextend. We're trying not to lock at any time. So all of these ideas are important as far as skeletal alignment. Assisting is a more broad view of our role when we walk around the room. When we get up off the mat and we walk around the room and we start helping our students, there are a number of things we do. We modify. Maybe you're showing an option, another type of asana to practice. Maybe you break out a block. Maybe you do something else. There's also physical adjustments. So actually getting up there and doing a hands-on physical adjustment with a student. These are all important. And it's important for your students to realize the difference between our roles. Their role is to have the best possible practice. Our role is to make sure they have the best possible practice. It's not about our practice at all. So if I stay on my mat and I turn my head the other way and I put on my own show, I'm not teaching. What I'm doing then is performing. And it doesn't matter whether they're in the class or not for that. That's the reason why this is so important. Another point which I had brought up briefly is asking permission before assisting your students. You want to get it clear with them. Who wants to be assisted and who does not. Now, for example, let's go to an extreme. I have a student who doesn't want to be assisted. I can appreciate that and I can respect that. But maybe they're the most unsafe student as far as being left alone. If that's the case, I have to make a decision. Do I have a student who puts him or herself at risk in my class, and do I continue with that? Or do I try to talk to this person and reason with them and say, you know, if you keep doing this, you're going to blow out your knee. If you keep doing that, you're going to blow out your hip. If you keep doing that, you're going to mess up your neck. If a student doesn't want to listen to that, then you have a decision. Probably say goodbye. I know that's tough, but sometimes if you have a student who puts themselves or the person next to them at risk, give you a good example. If they're going to fall over, but they don't want you to assist them, I get it. But if they're going to fall over onto a few more students like a domino effect, that's going to cause a problem in your class, and that's a safety hazard. Student safety is really important. So it's one of those things where if a person doesn't want to be assisted, I can appreciate that and I can respect that, but if they're going to endanger other people in your class, you have to make a decision. The other thing is, and this goes this way for myself, this goes this way for anyone who teaches, communication is so important. When you talk to your students, every little thing you say, especially during an adjustment, is extremely important. Your tone of voice is important. We've all had a teacher at some time, whether it was going through elementary schools or whether it was in high school, junior high, or college, or whether you're going for your master's or your doctorates. We've all had at least one professor, one student who, one professor or one teacher who we definitely didn't really hit it off with. But we learned to deal with them. We learned to do whatever we could to get the best possible grade. In our case, our students come to our classes, and they're not required to stick it out for a semester. They're not required to stick it out for a year. They can leave any time. That's an interesting concept when you think about teaching. So your communication is not just important when you assist, it's important throughout the whole class. Your tone of voice, you want to get some feedback from people who you respect about your tone of voice. It's really important.